Good afternoon. Welcome to Kenya News Update. I'm your host, and today we're taking a deep dive into a powerful, complex, and deeply Kenyan concept that shapes millions of lives, economies, and futures. It's a phrase you've likely heard, a reality many live but perhaps have never seen fully unpacked. We're talking about Mundu na Nyumba, the person is a home. Over the next 12 minutes, we will explore what this means in modern Kenya, from the pressures of the so-called black tax to the profound sense of duty and community it represents. We'll hear different perspectives, examine the data, and ask, is this a sustainable social contract or a burden holding back a generation? Let's begin. Our story starts not in a boardroom or a parliament, but on a dusty road in Embu County. Just this past Wednesday, January 21st, a remarkable scene unfolded. A school principal, determined to keep his institution alive, walked from house to house, door to door, personally seeking out students. This is KTN news footage from the ground. He wasn't just recruiting, he was pleading, convincing, demonstrating that the school's value extended beyond its walls. This image is a microcosm of Mundu na Nyumba. The principal, as an individual, became the vessel for the entire school's survival. His personal effort was the home for its future. But this literal walking outreach points to a much larger systemic truth. When formal structures struggle, the responsibility falls onto individuals. This principal's journey is one man's story, but it reflects a national narrative where personal success is rarely just personal. It is communal property. This brings us to the core of our discussion, the financial manifestation of Mundu na Nyumba, often discussed globally as the black tax. As reported by The Guardian Africa, from Senegal to Somalia, Egypt to South Africa, remittances are a fundamental economic force. For millions of Kenyan professionals, the monthly ritual is sacred. The salary hits the account, and almost immediately, portions are allocated. School fees for a cousin in Kisii. Medical bills for an aunt in Kakamega. A contribution to a harambee for a neighbor's business in Nakuru. A 2025 survey by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, conducted in partnership with several fintech firms, attempted to quantify this. Their findings were staggering. They estimated that among formally employed Kenyans aged 25 to 45, a staggering 78% provide regular financial support to extended family members beyond their immediate nuclear family. Let that sink in. Nearly 8 out of 10 working Kenyans are engaged in this practice. But the scale varies dramatically. The same survey broke down the average monthly contribution as a percentage of net income. For lower income earners, those taking home between 30,000 and 70,000 shillings a month, the support averaged 22% of their income. For middle income earners, 70,000 to 200,000 shillings, it was 18%. And for those in higher brackets above 200,000 shillings, it averaged 14%. While the percentage decreases, the actual shilling amount increases significantly, representing a major outflow from the country's professional class. To understand the human impact, we need to listen to those who bear this weight. We spoke to several Nairobi professionals. First, meet Wanjiku, a 32-year-old software developer in Kilimani. "You feel obligated," she told us, echoing the Guardian's phrasing. "The day I got my first real job offer, my mother called not just to congratulate me, but to gently remind me that my younger brother's university fees were due next semester. My success was instantly our success. It's a badge of pride, yes. When I can pay for my niece's school trip, it feels amazing. But it's also a silent anxiety. I'm 32. I'd like to buy an apartment, start investing seriously, but a huge chunk of my savings potential is redirected before I even think about it. My salary is a family resource." This is the classic tension, pride versus burden. Wanjiku's story highlights the dual identity of the contributor, both as a celebrated benefactor and a financially constrained individual. Now, let's contrast that with the perspective of the recipient ecosystem. We traveled to a rural homestead in western Kenya to speak with Mama Achieng, a grandmother caring for 6 grandchildren. "My son in Nairobi," she says, pointing to a framed photo. "He is our house. Without his messages every month, I don't know, the children would not be in school. We would not have upgraded this roof from grass to iron sheets. He is not just my son, he is the pillar for this whole home." For Mama Achieng, Mundu na Nyumba is not an abstract concept. It is a lifeline. It is the direct link between urban economic participation and rural survival. This system has, for decades, provided a critical social safety net in the absence of comprehensive government welfare. It has educated generations, built homes, and started small businesses. The fintech revolution, with apps like M-Pesa, World Remit, and Wave, has only streamlined this ancient practice. The credit alert notification, as The Guardian noted, truly does set the mood for millions of households. But economists and social planners are increasingly asking tough questions about the long-term macroeconomic effects. Dr. Amani Akath, a development economist at the University of Nairobi, lays out the concern. While noble and culturally entrenched, the Mundu Nyumba model, at its current scale, acts as a massive capital diversion. We are essentially taxing our most productive, young workforce to provide immediate consumption, school fees, food, medical care, in rural and peri-urban areas. This is vital, but it comes at a cost. That same capital is not being invested in productive assets within the urban economies where it's earned. It's not fueling as many startups, not being put into the stock market or retirement funds at the same rate. We are creating a generation of professionals with high cash flow but low asset accumulation, which has implications for wealth inequality and long-term national savings. Dr. Akath's research suggests that if just 20% of the estimated 500 billion shillings sent in familial remittances annually were instead invested in SME equity or government bonds, it could significantly boost Kenya's capital formation. However, this purely economic view is challenged by sociologists like Professor James Mwangi. He argues that the calculus is flawed. You cannot put a price on social cohesion, Professor Mwangi insists. What is the economic value of preventing a family from fracturing? What is the GDP impact of a young woman in Migo knowing her cousin in Mombasa has her back? This system is the glue that has held our society together through droughts, political upheavals, and economic shocks. It is a distributed risk management system, far more efficient and trustworthy than any government program could ever be. The burden narrative often comes from a westernized, individualistic lens. From a communal African lens, it is simply responsibility. It is what makes a person a full member of society. This debate between economic efficiency and social resilience is at the heart of Kenya's development puzzle. The concept also intersects powerfully with politics and national identity. Consider the platform of President William Ruto. His Hustler Nation narrative resonates deeply with this Mundu Nyumba reality. It speaks to every young Kenyan struggling to make it, not just for themselves, but for their entire Nyumba. The promise of bottom-up economics is, in essence, a promise to validate and support this existing system of mutual aid, not dismantle it. Conversely, critics argue that by relying on this informal system, the state is abdicating its responsibility to provide education, healthcare, and social security, thereby perpetuating the cycle of pressure on individuals. So, where do we go from here? Is there a middle path? Some innovators are trying to find one. We look at new financial products emerging. For example, family-linked investment plans offered by some SACCOs and insurers. These allow a primary contributor in Nairobi to take out a retirement or education policy that directly lists beneficiaries upcountry. It formalizes the support, potentially makes it more tax efficient, and ensures the money is used for its intended purpose. Another model is the rise of collaborative family investment groups, where several successful members of an extended family pool resources not for consumption, but to buy land or invest in a family business, transforming remittances from aid to equity. The growth of these models is still small but notable. A 2025 report from the Central Bank of Kenya indicated a 15% year-on-year increase in the number of such group-based investment accounts. Ultimately, Mundu Nyumba is a mirror held up to Kenya itself. It reflects our incredible strength, our interconnectedness, our deep sense of family and community that defies nuclear boundaries. It is a powerful engine of grassroots development and education. But the mirror also shows our challenges, the immense pressure on a rising generation, the strain on urban middle-class formation, and the gaps in our formal social infrastructure. The school principal walking door-to-door in Embu is a hero, but his heroism also highlights a system that shouldn't need such heroic individual effort to function. The future of Mundu Nyumba may lie in evolution, not abandonment. Blending this profound cultural strength with financial tools that build long-term wealth, not just fund short-term needs. Ensuring that the person who is a home is also building a secure home for themselves. It's about balancing the Mundu and the Nyumba within each of us. For Kenya News Update, I'm your host. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Kenya News Update today.